High rain chances continue for some of us, and I'm tracking the next weather maker, which could have big impacts across the Caribbean and the Bahamas. Your forecast starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi everyone, Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. It is Wednesday, February the 28th. Getting through the week together here, friends. Coming up, we're going to talk about some areas that continue to see some persistent high rain chances, warming up for a lot of us, and then tracking another big weather maker as we move into late weekend and into early in the week. As we get started, thank you so much for liking the video. If you found us, welcome. Click that subscribe button. You want the latest forecasts across the Caribbean and the Bahamas. We'll start you off with this visible satellite imagery on this Wednesday afternoon. I love to show this because this time of the year, it really clearly shows where we're seeing some thicker cloud development and some rain getting going. And I'm going to start off right now with what's happening in the Lesser Antilles. We have our easterly winds, which is very typical for this time of the year, continuing to blast through. It has promoted some shower activity. Now, this is going to be scattered rain, but there has been some showers up and down the Lesser Antilles. Even places like Trinidad and Tobago on this Wednesday afternoon have caught some showers. Typically speaking, of course, the rain develops on the eastern side of the island. It might be a little bit heavier on the western sides of the island, as again, the winds are pushing things from east to west. We've had at least some scattered rain over portions of Barbados, and then it really is concentrated even a little bit more over places like Grenada and especially St. Vincent and portions of the Grenadines and St. Lucia. Underneath those brighter whites that you see, we've had some passing showers on this Wednesday afternoon. And it's true even up towards Martinique and Dominica. Again, not all of these areas have seen a lot of rain, maybe just a couple of spots across the islands, but up and down the Leeward Islands, it has not been completely dry. Antigua and Barbuda and Anguilla as well. Now, here's a little interesting feature. Most of our low-level winds are going from east to west, and those are the clouds that you're seeing. But we have some mid-level winds. You notice those winds right over the Virgin Islands. Those clouds are actually moving from northwest to southeast. Again, we have a confluence of winds in this area, which has continued to promote the opportunity for some rain. And I want to show you that right now. Switching over to the San Juan, Puerto Rico radar site, you can see we have spotty showers again developing across the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and portions of Puerto Rico. So at this point in time, we'll continue to see some of this rain drift up over St. Croix and then try and head towards St. Thomas and St. John. Let me actually loop this up for you here so you kind of get an idea of where these showers are moving. Kind of typically speaking, they're not moving very quickly, and when they are, they're trying to push a little bit to the west or even to the southwest. Now, for my friends in Puerto Rico, it's been a relatively wet spell of weather. We've had rain developing every day, and that forecast is not going to change over the next 5 days. There's going to be the opportunity for showers and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm over Puerto Rico right on through the weekend. We had some heavier rain earlier today in Ponce. Some of that has moved out towards the western side of the island. But again, even this evening, additional showers could redevelop for places like San Juan and then push off towards the west. Some of this has clipped the eastern sides of the Dominican Republic for Punta Cana and La Romana. Certainly Santo Domingo has the opportunity for some of this rain activity as well. So just showing you again that this area I've highlighted the last several days, but this is the area that continues with the opportunity for some decent rain over the next 4 or 5 days. Again, it's going to be maybe scattered in nature, and we're going to have many dry hours and locations, but from time to time, the weather is going to get wet through Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and portions of the Leeward Islands. It's more spotty in the Leeward Islands, but that chance of rain is there. It's been relatively dry through the ABC Islands. A quick passing shower for Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao has been a possibility. My friends in Jamaica, we continue to see some clouds develop in the afternoon hours, and underneath this cloud coverage on this Wednesday afternoon for Kingston and Mandeville and Maypen, southern side of the island looks like a little bit better chance for at least a pop-up shower in the afternoon. Drop in the comment section below if you but Jamaica, your rain chances will be going up a little bit later in the week. Now, the weather is absolutely gorgeous right now In the Bahamas, we're actually starting to pick up a bit of a southeast wind, but it's enough so where we're starting to actually see at least some marine issues. So I do want to mention for Grand Bahama, there is a small craft caution for the Northwest Bahamas. Now the Central Bahamas is actually a small craft advisory. Winds are a little bit stronger in the Central Bahamas today. Seas running around 3 to 5 feet, a little bit higher in exposed waters. It's an east to southeast wind at 10 to 15 knots the remainder of our Wednesday. For tomorrow, it's an east wind at 10 to 15, and seas should be relaxing at 2 to 4 feet. Kind of a tepid water temperature there off of the Freeport, Lucaya, West End area, 71.5 degrees. How about that? Let me go back over to the wide shot of the satellite because I also want to take a look at what's going on with our temperatures. Going to throw this on the board for you right now. Generally speaking, again, we have been warming up. It was really cool in some areas last week and even earlier this week. Well, we're beginning to moderate here. We're back into the mid, some upper 80s, and even a couple of spots knocking on the door of 90. It's mainly the 70s there in the Bahamas for Nassau and Freeport. But again, it's comfortable. It's been really nice. As far as the winds go, from time to time in the Leeward Islands, I've seen a few areas peak to a near 30-mile-an-hour wind gust. That includes Martinique and on over towards Guadeloupe. Nothing that's going to be sustained, but again, the strong winds will be picking up in the afternoon hours, these easterlies, and from time to time gusting to near 30. Now, it's a more persistent wind, again, with that confluence of winds, that converging of winds, as I've mentioned, for basically all of Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. You can see up there near Charlotte, Amalie, in the St. Thomas area, they've been picking up a wind of around 25. Oop, a little bit close, sorry about that. They're picking up a wind right around 25 miles an hour from time to time. So again, relatively breezy conditions have been coming along with these showers. So they're not moving very quickly, believe it or not, even though the winds are up from time to time. So that's kind of a look at what's happening right now across our region. Let's talk about the winds in general, and then we're going to get into the rain. So this is the wide shot of the model for what the winds are going to look like over the next several days. So the first thing I want you to notice is that we stay with relatively strong winds in the Caribbean. Now, these are going to be our easterlies. The ABC Islands are always pretty windy this time of the year, and those winds will be gusting easily 20 to 30 knots over the next few days. So fresh winds for Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao from time to time. The winds will be a little bit lighter for Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. Nice little fresh wind there off the tip of the Yucatan. Anywhere you see the greens, there's going to be some wind gusts over 20 knots from time to time. It's not going to be sustained winds, meaning not consistently over 20 knots, but fresh winds will be picking up. And again, we'll see the winds relax a little bit in the Bahamas, at least initially after today. But then we're going to have another front coming in, which will be the next weather maker that I'll be watching for portions of the Bahamas and the Caribbean coming in early next week. But again, nice little fresh breeze will continue. Let's get into what the rain is going to be looking like across our area. So we'll take a look at the model here, throw it in over the next 5 days. And again, I want to highlight that we continue to see the opportunity for rain in the areas that I just mentioned. As a matter of fact here, I'm going to switch up one thing real quick. So give me just 1 second here. And as I do so, you can always hit the like button, or you can always subscribe as well. Love to have you become a subscription member here at Meteo Mundo. So what I wanted to do here is just show you this model, the NAM, which just continues to show that passing showers will stay in the forecast for the northern side of the Leeward Islands, Anguilla and St. Kitts and Nevis and Antigua and Barbuda, but especially a little bit more concentrated for the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and portions of Puerto Rico. Again, you'll find some dry hours over the next 5 days. There's no doubt about it, but the rain chance is going to be there, and by February standards, it's relatively high. We'll also see a pretty decent easterly breeze. So if there's one area where we're going to kind of have consistent weather, if you will, over the next 5 days, it's going to be in these areas. So for my friends in Puerto Rico, including the San Juan area here, Arecibo, and the Ponce area there, just keep in mind that we're going to continue to see these passing showers develop. Now, again, I'll keep an eye out on any if this becomes heavy enough where we're going to have to deal with any flash flooding issues. At this point in time, that does not look to be the case, but it's just going to stay wet outside. So if you do have plans to be outdoors, just keep that in mind. I've got a 50% chance for showers the remainder of this Wednesday, and there will be some evening rain as well. Just doesn't shut off once we get past sunset. Then a 60% chance for showers on Thursday, 40% chance with very breezy east-northeast winds on Friday, dropping our temperature down to around 80. And then the higher rain chances just continue Saturday and Sunday as well, at least a 50% chance with daytime highs remaining in the lower 80s. We'll take a look at the rain totals in this area over the next 5 days coming up. Just want to also mention again, in addition to becoming a subscriber here at Meteo Mundo, if you'd like to become a member and help support the channel, you can do that. It's just 99 cents a month. You do get access to exclusive member forecast videos, custom badges, and emojis and other things playing along the way. So again, if you see that join button there on our Meteo Mundo homepage, click it right now. We appreciate your support. Getting back over here to what I expect to be happening in this area. And again, let me just do a couple of quick switches real fast. Want to make sure I've got it out at least 5 days before I put the model back into motion. There we go. So speaking of Hispaniola, we'll go there next. For my friends in Santo Domingo and Santiago de los Caballeros, in Puerto Plata, and then on over towards Lacai and Port-au-Prince, Haiti, rain chances will stay with us. Now, they're going to be higher on the northern and the eastern side of the island, so that does favor the Dominican Republic side. But you continue to see a fair amount of green on the map developing in the afternoon hours as we roll through the remainder of the week. So, again, for today, isolated rain bubbling up. This is what it looks like as we get into the late afternoon, early evening hours of this Wednesday. They'll die back down. They're going to flare right back up for tomorrow in a scattered variety. And then that rain chance just sticks around. Again, relatively good rain chance. There could be some areas on the northeast side of the island that pick up a couple of inches of rain between now and the end of Sunday. So we'll continue to monitor that. Now, what you're going to see when I put the model into motion here for the Leeward Islands, you're not going to get any concentration of rain. You're going to see some blips of green on the map, and that's just going to be the case. Every afternoon, we're going to pop up a few isolated showers. I'll keep an eye on the surf and sea conditions. The air quality is getting better in this area. The Saharan dust layer has been faded away, so hopefully you don't get that marine haze when you go offshore. Otherwise, again, the beach forecast looks pretty good. I'll keep an eye on the surf conditions and get you up to date if there's anything else you need to know. But again, isolated showers are in the forecast for these areas, including the ABC Islands, the next several days. Now, for my friends in Jamaica, we are going to start to see our rain chance go up. Some of you have said, hey, I've caught a shower or two, over the last couple of days. We haven't been completely dry, which is great news, and we're not going to be completely dry. I don't expect a lot of rain for the remainder of this Wednesday, but rain chances will begin to tick up at least a little bit. Here is tomorrow afternoon, and you can see a few spots of green on the map. Now, again, we might favor the eastern sides of the island on over towards Port Antonio and Kingston and Portmore and Spanish Town, maybe Old Harbor, slightly better than the western areas. Savannah, Lamar, and Negril in Montego Bay, and then kind of, Westmoreland Parish would be in the mix to get some showers. Mandeville and the Maypen area. Ocho Rios, slightly higher chance than maybe areas off towards the west. But again, everyone has the chance for some showers in Jamaica the next few days. And then, as we get into our Friday, more green on the map, more higher rain chance the weekend ahead, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's still going to be the passing variety. Could be some decent downpours in your area, but you should expect some rain to develop in the afternoon hours each afternoon, and that will also help to, keep things relatively decent temperatures in the afternoon. The heat and the humidity have come up a bit, but it's nothing outrageous. So Kingston, over the next 5 days, got a 30% chance for showers today and tomorrow. You saw the rain chance goes up on Friday. It's up to a 60% chance. That might be the wettest day. It might be Sunday, but relatively speaking, rain chances will be higher and temperatures won't be bad. Now, it's the upper 80s the next couple of afternoons. Maybe you like that. Maybe it's a little too warm for late February into early March. We'll drop it down a couple degrees by Saturday at 85. And then 86 degrees on Sunday. But again, there's a chance for rain each and every day over the next 5 days. Taking a look at the rest of the western and northwestern Caribbean, isolated rain will continue to be in the forecast. I don't expect a lot of rain for the Cayman Islands. I don't expect a lot of rain for Cancun and Belize, and Honduras, and the coastlines of Guatemala, and isolated rain chances for the Bahamas. There's not a lot of rain until Sunday when we see our next front coming in. It'll bring some showers across the southeast, including Florida, late Saturday, and then we'll start to see some rain chances for Walker's Key and Freeport and Nassau and Marsh Harbor as we get into our Sunday. But relatively speaking, it's a dry next 5 days. Let's take a look at the total precipitation here over the next 5 days. So again, Considering it's late February, considering we're getting into early March here as we get into our Friday, it is a relatively wet forecast. Again, it's not everyone, but you can see in the Leeward Islands, there's going to be a couple of spots where we might get more than an inch of rain. And that's what you see when you're looking at the purples and the pinks. Now, again, let me make sure that we go out 5 days here. So I'm going to extend the model all the way out. And I bet you're actually going to see these numbers pop up just a little bit higher, just a little bit, not much. So let's take a look at this. So for areas like Guadalupe and Dominica, the model's trying to paint on a little bit more than an inch of rain. Now that is certainly possible. I think that amount will be isolated in nature, but you can see again from Barbados and especially St. Vincent and portions of the Grenadines, St. Lucia and Martinique, when you catch an isolated shower almost every afternoon, it adds up to a ½ inch of rain or a little bit more. Trinidad and Tobago, again, opportunity to get a quarter to a ½ inch of rain over the next 5 days. It's nothing outrageously high, but considering the time of the year, that's not a bad amount of rain. Now again, as we get into the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and portions of Puerto Rico on the eastern and northern coastlines of the islands, here you go. Again, not enough, more than likely to cause any flooding issues, but the downpours will continue for Fajardo and Punta Santiago and San Juan. Lower rain chances in our western zones, Aguadilla and other places, but again, still some scattered showers across the entire island. I mentioned the northeast coastline of the Dominican Republic. Here you go. Between Puerto Plata and Samana, we're picking up more than an inch of rain. You get inland towards Santiago de los Caballeros, it's not going to be as much, but certainly the central and the eastern sides of the island, Santo Domingo, La Ramona, and Punta Cana, all have the opportunity for some decent rain totals over the next 5 days. There you go. In Jamaica, that's a nice little color to see on the map over the next 5 days. That means many areas will be more than a ½ inch of rain, and it's not going to shock me if over the next 5 days we get a couple of spots of more than an inch of rain. You'll still have plenty of dry hours to get outside and enjoy things, but again, the opportunity for some higher rain chances in there. As I mentioned, not nearly as much rain towards Central America, not as much rain towards portions of the Bahamas. What's our next big weather maker? Look at the higher rain chances coming in the northern Gulf of Mexico, the elevated rain. That's our next front. Early next week. It's a pretty significant front, and I'll have more on that across the Caribbean and the Bahamas coming up as we get into the weekend and especially early next week. Friends, you know you can follow us across all of social media outside of these forecast videos. We are on TikTok. We got a Facebook page. We are on X and Instagram. You want to send me a picture or video? You can do that to myMediaMundo@gmail.com. Would love to show that to you here on our YouTube channel. Now again, you have a specific question about the forecast, drop in the comment section below. While you're there, you want to help us, just click that like button. It really helps to get more eyes on these videos, and we appreciate that. And again, if you want the latest forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas, just click subscribe right now. I got you covered. Have a great rest of your day, friends, and I will see you soon right here at Meteo Mundo.